What's that big shining orb in the sky?
I've no idea.
Good morning and welcome to a gloriously sunny ride in Essex this morning. The sun is shining, I'm on an 8 kilo bike, not a 27 kilo one, and I've got a freshly waxed chain. Life is good. Well, apart from the 15-mile-an-hour headwind we've got. Otherwise, life is good. Oh, and the broken left shifter. But again, otherwise, life is good. Well, also, it's only 6 degrees as well. But other than that, life is very good. Now, all joking aside, it is an absolute joy to be out today. The sun is shining, and it is an absolutely glorious ride so far. This headwind is killing us somewhat, but nothing's bringing the mood down today. So as I said, I am back on the 8 kilo carbon fibre bike this weekend, and let me tell you, I can absolutely tell the difference. Oh, it's so good to be back on a lightweight bike after the agony of riding the gravel bike with 27 kilos of luggage up to Birmingham last weekend. Let me tell you, a lightweight bike is very welcome today. Feels like forever since I've been on it. If you haven't seen that video yet, I can highly suggest going to watch it because it was 10 hours of agony basically. I had a headwind the entire way. There were some punishing hills and I honestly didn't think it would take as long as it did. I was hoping I could do it in about 8 hours, but with the headwind and the extra weight on the back, oh boy, that was an absolute sufferfest. But it was a great achievement and it felt great when I finally got there. But oh yes, boy, was that a tough one. And it was more of a mental challenge than anything. First 15 miles I did with my buddy Chris, and then he turned back for home. And the last 90 odd miles I was on my own. But yeah, had to dig deep on a few parts of the route. Head down, just get it done. So it's been a few weeks since I've been on this bike, and another thing it's been a few weeks is without Jimmy. And he's back.
Been, brother?
We're back together.
We're back. Yeah, we love it. These are our roads, aren't they? You're back on our roads. You've been on tour, you've been away, which is fine, but you're back on our gaff now, getting the training in. We need to get mileage. Mileage is our key now. 12 of us off to Paris. The only thing with that is, once we have done it, and it will be brilliant, we are already nattering about what is next. Scandinavia has been proposed, Denmark, Austria have been thrown around, India has been spoken of, somewhere that does keep popping up, Scotland. Bike up?
Yeah, let's cycle up to Scotland, shall we? Do London, Edinburgh, then do the NC 500.
Yeah.
And then maybe take in Black Nabar.
Yeah.
The toughest of the Scottish climbs, according to Simon Warren.
Do it all.
But Scotland would be very nice. Long have I spoken about my absolute love for wanting to do the NC 500. That would be an incredible ride. And if we had weather like this, which I know is unlikely for Scotland, but if you had sun like this, oh boy, you just have to avoid the mosquitoes.
We'll get Paris done first and then see where we go from there. But right now, it's Essex.
Yeah, we're still getting the training miles in for London to Paris because that is now only 10 weeks away. It's coming around quick. But yeah, as Jimmy said, there have been chats about various other destinations. We all went out for a meal the other night. The conversation obviously turned to what adventure rides we could do next. And we've all been very jealous of my buddy Ben Chapman, who's recently got back from a 10-day trip to Malaysia with Francis Cade and Lawrence Carpenter. And so now obviously we've all been thinking about what adventure rides we can go on. We've still got a few rides left to do this year, chiefly London to Paris, but then we've also got the Dunwich Dynamo, and in a couple of weekends time we're doing a tour of Suffolk. That's going to be a nice, well, it's 76 miles and Jimmy's insisting on riding to it because it's 24 miles away, so that'll be a 100+ miler on that day. But now we've started to set the precedent of trips away in foreign countries. Well, that has to continue in the next couple of years. The wives have to agree. But in other news, yes, I freshly waxed my chain last night, which is probably why it's a little bit noisy at the moment. It does take a little while to bed in after getting it waxed, but it absolutely needed doing because after the Cambridgeshire Classic ride a few weeks ago, yeah, I completely forgot to clean the bike and it was a little bit squeaky, the chain. It might be rattling a bit now, but at least it's not squeaking, which is always a good thing. Oh, just look at this countryside.
Come on, I want to try and enjoy it, but your bike is making a hell of a racket. I'm going to go up here for some peace and quiet.
This is the weather we've been waiting all winter for. This is why we put up with the rain, the wind, the ice, the lakes that we've been riding through. This is why we do it right here, so we can have weather like this. And we're just about to pull onto my favourite street. Oh, this road. It's this weather that I've been waiting for to ride on this road. Talking of riding to Paris, such as we were, I do need to get that left shifter sorted out because still I'm currently running a 1x. The bloody thing just will not push up. Jimmy's got a leg perched on a verge. I feel like there's a moment coming.
Just scan, do me a favour. Everyone eyes right, start over there and just scan it. Every tree, every mound, every change in shade. Green, brown, there's orange in there, lighter green, racing green, dark brown, grey, white, blue, turquoise, down, yellow. Honestly, have you seen that rainbow?
Well, now that we've stopped for a Jimmy moment, I do just have to take a moment myself to thank my good buddy Chris, who you would have seen in the Birmingham video a couple of weeks ago. Absolute legend for riding with me for the first part, because as I said earlier, when he left, it was a huge mental challenge. 90 odd miles on my own, but it was great just to start off the first 15 just with someone. It was a massive boost. So cheers, mate, appreciate that. How was your ride back?
My ride back was great. I went across a field because I didn't have your navigational skills, so it all went a bit pear-shaped, but it was good fun.
You gotta love a field on a road bike. That's fine, nothing wrong with that. Right, have you finished your moment?
I don't know, I'm just waiting to see if there's another surge coming.
Let's go, let's get on the road. That is the problem with Google Maps. As good and as intuitive as it can be at times, Google bike routes are not the best. As I found out a few months ago when I went up to Newcastle and did a ride from Whitley Bay into Newcastle, and I decided to use Google for part of the route back. Yeah, that took me through a field as well. I think it just assumes everyone's got a mountain bike. So sort it out, Google. Some of us have got road bikes. So going back to the Paris ride for a second, I do need to get my left shifter sorted out eventually. Because as I say, we've only got 10 weeks to go, which should be plenty of time, but with a full-time job, kids, DIY jobs to do at home, bike maintenance, can be quite low on the priority list sometimes, unfortunately. But yeah, this left shifter, still got a problem with it. I mean, I didn't expect it to magically fix itself, but as I mentioned a few videos ago, it's just not engaging and not pushing the front derailleur up to the big ring. So I need to get that sorted before Paris because yeah, I think I need more than 11 gears to get me all the way to Paris. My legs have been spinning out again this morning on a few of these downhill sections. I need as much speed as possible going downhill in France. It's going to take me long enough to get up the hills, so I need to get as much speed as possible to catch up with Jimmy and beat him on the downhills. Right, we're on the homeward stretch now. Only a couple of miles left to go, 22 miles down. Just a nice short ride today. A few of us have got family bits to get back for, as per usual. But we couldn't not do a ride in this weather today. Absolutely stunning. And Garmin's now telling me it's 10 degrees. Positively balmy. Cannot wait for more of this weather. It just puts a smile on your face, it really does. Talking to the lads this morning about a few of the rides that we've done over the last few months. And as much as we always enjoy them, looking back on it now, with the sun shining down on us, by God, it feels depressing. But as the saying goes, winter miles make summer smiles. And all right, it might not be summer yet, but there's some definite spring smiles on the horizon. How was that?
That was great fun. Yeah, really good.
So yeah, just a short one today, just 23 miles, but 23 miles of absolute gloriousness. Gloriousness? You know what I mean. Glory? I think glory is probably the better word, but it was absolutely beautiful today. That sun, there was a bit of wind, but you can put up with the wind when it's not absolutely pouring down with rain and icy conditions. So I'm not going to do a long monologue on today's video, but I hope you enjoyed that ride. I certainly did. Lovely sunny ride out, and hopefully more of those to come in the future. But as ever, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.